Hi, I'm Sarah Harker with Female Founders, and I am super excited today because I am announcing a new sponsorship with Indy Maven. We're here today with Leslie Bailey, founder of Indy Maven and Maven Space, who will be our very first sponsored feature featuring you.
Hey, Bailey. I paid, so this would be
The
about
star.
me.
Yes. Yes, there's a fee.
Yeah, great. Hi.
Hi, I'm so glad that we get to talk today.
Me too. I love talking to you.
I know, I love talking to you too. I'm going to try my best to be professional in this conversation, but since we talk just about every day, apologies if curse words slip out and we get a little too comfortable. But let's start out with our very first question, as always, which is why Indiana?
Why Indiana? I came for a boy. Wait, no, I'm just kidding. It was a boy. It was my dad. It was a man. I came for a man. My dad worked in racing here, and that is what brought me. He was living here and then going back to Michigan on the weekends, where I'm from. And he wanted me to go to Butler because he said they had really nice trees.
Well, they do have nice trees at Butler.
And I was like, ah. So I went to IUPUI and just stuck around. My plan was not to stay, but I got a job, and I've heard people refer to Indy as very sticky. Oh. And I was like, yeah, that's right. Like it gets on you, and then you can't get it off, and then you're still here.
That's a really good way to put it. And yeah, sticky, but like in a willingness
in a good
way.
Because
like I feel like anyone who is associated with business, that's a woman in business, knows your name. I know you're gonna be mad at me for saying that, but they have somehow had some connection with Indy Maven or Maven Space or just you personally, and you do such a good job of representing the city.
Oh, thank you.
So even if it's just like stickiness.
Even if it's just because I got sticky all over.
Yeah. Okay, but you're choosing to stay, and we're very grateful for that.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit, speaking of Maven Space and Indy Maven.
Yeah.
There's a lot of exciting things happening here.
Yeah.
For those women in business, let's give us a little preview.
Yeah, so in case you haven't heard the big news, we are relocating Maven Space in the spring. So we're looking at a May opening, but we will stay in our existing space here until then. So through the end of April, we'll be here doing all the same things that we've always been doing here. So hosting events and programming, obviously co-working, and all the fun things in the community that we have here. And then in May, we will move to Nora, so like 86th and College. And that will be our very own building. It's going to be 2 stories, lots of private offices, but as well as the event space and all the amenities that we have here, from a fitness center to the lending library, cafe, but adding on some really exciting things too.
Oh my goodness, where can we follow that?
Well, all the places, but we're at My Maven Space on Instagram.
Okay.
But I think the best way is definitely just both the newsletters, and that's where we'll be pushing out the updates. We're doing some really exciting kind of early bird perks, a founding membership that we're going to be launching.
Special treatment is my love language.
Yeah, well, we always want to like thank the early adopters, and it's the same thing when we launched this first space, when we first opened Maven Space, to thank all of the community who had been a part of Indy Maven and say, like, we know you're excited about this, but we also take it really seriously. Like, we're women, we work hard for our money, and we want to make sure that we are saying thank you and rewarding people and giving them that value as well.
It feels like it's going to be like a girls' club on steroids now.
Yeah, that's a really good way to put it.
Okay, that's exciting. Really exciting. Well, I know there's so many people that are a part of that move and a part of kind of Maven Space 2.0. And I'm just curious if there's anybody you want to shout out for who's helped you get to this spot in your business.
Well, none of this would be happening if it weren't for Amanda Kingsbury, who is the co-founder of Indy Maven with me. And when we sat down and said there are things that don't exist that we want to see exist, and how do we make that happen? And Indy Maven was born shortly after. We had so many different people in that early team at the beginning. Crystal Grave, Faith Blackwell, who has this beautiful art behind us.
It's for sale.
Been there since the beginning. Abby, Stephanie, Maura, all our different team members over the years, but I talk a lot about Indy Maven because that was what built this community and all of the women who are a part of making that happen, to then allow us to get to the point where we were able to put something like this together. You know, it's the longer you're in business, the more and more you realize the whole "it takes a village" thing. There's same thing. Like, so many people who have become a part of the team. Some have been there since day one, or come in for a period, a reason, a season. But it really has been, I think, community built, which is really exciting.
Yeah, and for those of you watching that don't know the difference sort of between Indy Maven and Maven Space, Indy Maven is the more editorial side where you're getting the newsletter and all the things happening in Indianapolis and with the women in our community. And Maven Space is really the space for everybody to come
The physical
together.
house where we can come together. Yeah.
That's where. Okay, awesome. And anything that you would tell people that are just starting out, that are maybe thinking, should I take this jump? Am I crazy into business?
Yeah, the first thing is that not everything has to become a business, right? So every time I've asked that question, it's almost like the reasons why not to first. And then if you can get over those and you still want to do it, then that's your sign that it's something to move forward with. But like, I kind of always use this analogy of like, if you love making soap, don't start a business because eventually you won't be making soap. You won't ever touch soap, right? Because the more a business grows, it's not often, depending. I mean, you can make very intentional choices and it depends on the product and the service, but I think, do you want to run a business or do you just love this thing that can stay a hobby first and foremost? And then from there, if you decide, yes, this is a business, then treating it like a business from day one, right? So paying yourself, putting the right people in your corner, accountants, attorneys, and whatnot, like the unsexy stuff, because everybody wants to start with the logo and the design and all of that, and that is all fun and great, but you have to have that foundation in place first. And so that's why I love having Maven Space to have this like network of people built in. So when you're here working, you can meet your attorney or an accountant or a designer, and it just makes everything so much faster, right? Women, we're busy and we want to be efficient, and so to have all of that in-house somewhere, I think is a huge asset.
Yeah, oh, totally. I love being able to come here and have people meet me here, and it's like, just pretend my house is this clean at home and I'm ready
even
for
have to
you.
clean
Like,
before anyone
it's
comes
just
over.
like that.
Exactly.
But yeah, I love having Maven Space as a spot for business and for the friendships and hair pulling out moments of our businesses. You know, if you probably have never experienced
I had
that.
one when you were arriving.
I wasn't going to mention that, but
I have them hourly.
yeah, thank you
Because
so
that's running a
much for
business.
the space and for everything that you do for all of us in business. I'm really excited for this partnership for our female founder segment going forward and all of the women that we're going to get to introduce you to. So
I
that's
can't
all
wait.
because of you all. So thank you very much.
Well, thank you, and thanks for just continuing to do that work, right? Because I'm one person, and again, none of this could just happen with one person. So as we continue to build our sort of ecosphere in the Maven world, I'm so excited to partner with you and learn about different people who we've not met yet, or kind of touch base with people who are new. So thank you for bringing that to us.
Of course. We need each other.
I know,
I'm so happy.
I know.
I'm going to make you hug me.
I will hug you.
All right.
On camera.
Thanks, guys.
I
Yeah,
can hug.
she
I'm a
really did
hugger.
it. She did
I can hug.